My wife threatened divorce every time she didn't get her way, so I finally said yes and watched her completely fall apart. We'd been married 5 years with a 3-year-old son. I worked as an accountant while she stayed home, refusing every suggestion to work or study because someone needs to raise our child. For nearly 3 years, every disagreement ended the same way. I want out of this marriage. It started during small arguments about household chores or plans. Then it became her solution to everything. Forgot to pick up milk? Divorce threat. Suggested we budget better? Divorce threat. Asked her to call the pediatrician? Divorce threat. She'd discovered that those 5 words made me immediately apologize and scramble to fix whatever upset her. What began as emotional outbursts became her personal remote control for our relationship. The financial strain was destroying me. I'd pick up extra clients just to cover her online shopping addiction. Designer handbags we couldn't afford. Expensive subscription boxes that sat unopened. When I showed her our credit card statements, she'd get defensive. I sacrificed everything staying home with our son. Meanwhile, he spent 40 hours a week at daycare because she needed time for self-care. The pattern hit its peak when my brother needed a place to stay after his apartment flooded. My wife exploded, conveniently forgetting that her cousin had lived with us for 3 months rent-free, eating our food and leaving messes everywhere. My brother offered to pay rent, buy groceries, and help with our son. He was there 2 weeks when she cornered me. I want out of this marriage. What made this unbearable was my own past. I'd watched my mother use divorce threats to manipulate my father for years, seen how it destroyed him emotionally, made him a shell of himself. I'd sworn I'd never become that person. My wife had somehow sensed this vulnerability and exploited it perfectly. Every time I suggested counseling, she'd refuse. She wasn't the problem. I was too sensitive. I needed to appreciate her sacrifices more. Meanwhile, I was having panic attacks at work, terrified to go home, walking on broken glass around every potential trigger. Last Monday, she started a fight because I'd worked late finishing a project for a major client. She accused me of prioritizing work over family, her voice rising with each sentence. I want out of this marriage. Something in me finally shattered. I looked at her calmly and said, "You know what? Okay, I'll call a lawyer tomorrow. You're right, this isn't working." I packed a bag and left for my brother's apartment. For 3 days, my phone never stopped. "Please come back. I didn't mean it. I need you. Think of our son. I'll change. We can fix this." The same script she'd always used when I'd previously tried to leave. I agreed to counseling because part of me still hoped we could repair this. The first month was revealing. Issues surfaced. She admitted her spending was out of control. We made actual progress. For about 4 months, everything seemed different. She got a part-time job at a boutique, made work friends, started cooking dinner again, even apologized for how she'd treated my brother. Then one Saturday, I came home early from the gym. We'd agreed to take our son to the park that afternoon, but she'd clearly forgotten and made plans with her new friends. "Can't you just take him yourself?" she asked. Annoyed I'd interrupted her getting ready. I told her I'd take him, but that this was exactly the kind of thing we discussed in therapy, honoring commitments to each other. She stopped applying her makeup and turned to face me. "You know what your problem is? You're still the same controlling person you've always been." I felt everything inside me go cold. The months of effort, the therapy, the hope, all revealed as temporary performance. I didn't argue. I just took our son to the park. The following week, I filed for separation. The terms were straightforward. 6-month separation. No dating others. Joint custody. Continue therapy to see if reconciliation was possible. 4 months in, I went to pick up our son from her apartment for my custody weekend. I knocked on the door. Her work friend Vanessa answered, looking uncomfortable and guilty. "Hey, I started. Then I saw them through the doorway behind her. My wife and her manager from the boutique, sitting extremely close on the couch, his hand on her thigh, wine glasses on the table, her head on his shoulder. When my wife saw me, her expression cycled from relaxed to shocked to panicked to defiant in the span of a heartbeat. That's when I understood the truth. She'd never feared losing me. She'd only feared losing her safety net before she had a replacement ready.